Hello folks, welcome. I'm going to show you, I'm in the middle of making some more cut-off wires. I thought I'd show you how to do it. Okay, it's absolutely essential that you have a good cut-off wire. Most people who come here on workshops have something that looks like this. I don't know if you can see this. It is a kind of kinked knotty mess, and it's far too long. Let's measure it. Let us measure it. This is 18 inches. So it's 18 inches plus that bit on the end, another 6 inches on top of that. So you're like, it's 24 inches. It's 2 foot. It's 2 foot long. 2 foot, and when you only need 1 foot. Okay, these kind of wires are useless on the potter's wheel. You don't want to have them. You don't want to have them anywhere near your wheel. So fling it to the wedging bench, because on the wedging bench for slicing through bigger lumps of clay, they are okay. They're for that, they're fine, but they're no good for working on the wheel. Ugh. Chuck it over there. So how do we go about doing this? I'll just show you this as quick as I can. So basically, starting off, I use this fishing nylon, 15 pounds, okay? You can get it cheaply at your local big box store, wherever. And what you're going to need is, you're going to need a yard to make these wires, okay? So I know that on this workbench here, that is 1 yard. So basically, I'll just measure it like that, and then cut it. Okay. Once I cut it, I've then got to attach it to some toggles. So what I do is go to my local store and I buy this dowel. Okay, and it hasn't got to be this size. I just think this is a convenient size. Yikes, I better measure it because somebody's going to ask me, aren't they? Somebody's going to ask me. Yeah, it's about 3/8. 3/8 of an inch diameter, okay? So that's what you're going to need. Then you're going to need something like this to cut it. And when they're cut up into little pieces, what you're going to need to do is, with a bench grinder, you're going to smooth off the ends, and you're going to put a groove in the middle. You see that groove? As neatly as you can. Sometimes I do it more neatly than other times, but you want to put a groove in the middle. Don't put a hole, put a groove. Okay, and usually the corner of the grinding wheel here, if you rotate it on the corner as it's going round, it'll put a nice groove in there. Okay, so personally I like to have, this is not absolutely essential, but I think it makes it for a better cut-off wire. If you have one toggle that is bigger than another. So basically I have these two toggles. You can see the size difference, a small one and a bigger one. Okay, don't make them too big. Okie dokie. Right, okay, having said all that, I'll show you actually how to do it. I can get myself organized here. So I'm going to put a bit extra like there. Right, so you're going to make these on your potter's wheel. Okay, so right, so I take a big toggle, Okay, and I find join the ends of your nylon together like that. Pull them together, the ends, and then you'll find the halfway point here. At that point, what you're going to do is you're going to put them around the toggle. Okay, and you want to knot this 2 times. Okay, I've already done it. I've got one here prepared, so I won't waste time. Okay, here's one. It's already attached. Knot it 2 times. Okay. Next, what we've got to do is it's not complicated, this really. So a little lump of clay in the middle of your wheel, and then just squeeze the clay to that toggle. Okay, turn your wheel on. Then what we're going to do is holding the 2 pieces of nylon like that, we are going to spin up the wheel. You'll notice the pieces of nylon between each thumb and forefinger are spinning around. Don't hold them so tightly that it doesn't do that. You want them to spin around like that, okay? Okay, so when you get to about that amount of spun up, I'll just measure it just for, yeah, I don't know, about 11 inches, something like that. Okay, what you're going to do is, carefully, you're going to have to use your mouth here a bit, okay? You're going to put 1 knot once. Don't pull these knots too tight. Twice, okay, and you're going to do a 3rd, and then you're going to take one of the small toggles so that's once. I'm going to knot it 3 times. Twice. 3 times. Okay. Now, it does demand a little bit of being a little bit clever, you know, with your fingers and your mouth and all that. Okay, so just holding it here, I'm going to put this heat gun on a low setting. And we're just going to play it up and down a few times. Meanwhile, we're going to spin it up a bit more. Okay. All right. Try not to let it'll try to tangle itself. Keep it straight as much as possible. We're going to release it from the lump of clay. Let it unspin a bit. It will unspin a bit, but it still remains nicely wound up. These little pieces extra here, take your scissors, chop them off. All right. Now the big toggle, what I do is take my felt pen, red felt tip pen, permanent marker, and I put red on the ends. The reason we do that is just to indicate which is the big toggle. I know it should be obvious, because the wire is going to hang there, you see, on the side of your wheel tray, and the big toggle is going to keep the wire from falling out on the floor. Nice thing about these wires, you'll notice how nicely they hang. Okay, they hang nicely. You try and you know, one of these big ones with these big toggles, try and put it here on the side of your wheel. The chances are it'll fall out on the floor. You'll end up then having to keep it over here somewhere, and everything becomes a mess. That's why you want to work neatly and keep your wire always in the same spot there. Okay? So now you may be asking, well, Simon, that's all very well, but why do we need a twisted cut-off wire? You do need a twisted cut-off wire because it's what's going to help you introduce air underneath your pot. See, it leaves that pattern, all right, on the bottom of your pot. We're not using it just because it makes a pattern. By the way, it's not. We don't call it a wiggle wire. People say, "Oh, it's a wiggle wire." No, it's not a wiggle wire. It's most definitely not a wiggle wire. Thank you very much. No, it's a twisted cut-off wire, please. Anyway, so what happens is when you cut through your pot on the wheel, as the wheel is always what you cut off, you see, with the wheel going around slowly, you're going to cut through. That's going to go underneath, and because of the nature of the wire, because of the undulations, because of the twists, what it does is it introduces air underneath the pot. So when it cuts through, the pot then sits down again after the wire has gone through. First of all, the wire goes through, it lifts the pot up, and then it sits itself down again. When it sits itself down again, because of these undulations, it doesn't allow for suction. So there's no suction there, so the pot just comes straight off in your hand. It does help if you have the outside of the pot clean, using your throwing stick, and you've got hands that you have wiped off, okay? That's just basic. I mean, you know, we should already know that. But if you're using one of these cut-off wires, you will find you will just up your game as far as being able to lift your pot, palm lift your pot, okay, off the wheel. Many people struggle with lifting the pot that they made with their hands off the wheel. They don't have the confidence to do it. And I'm not surprised, because most of these wires are pretty flat, and so when you cut through, it reseals itself back on the wheel. Sometimes that makes it very difficult. Okay folks, that's it. Just a quick video, just wanted to show you that. Have a go at making your own cut-off wire. Let's just measure, give a final measure on this. So it's about, if this is actually reading about 12.5 inches, but they will vary. I don't measure them as I go. There's some more here I made just earlier on. That's more like 12 inches. This is more like 12 inches. So, you know, they're going to be, it's not critical whether they're 11 or whether they're 12. That's 12.5, and that is 12. So round about 1 foot is ideal. Okay folks, that's it. Video for today. Have a go at making your own cut-off wire. It's good, it's important to have tools that we like and that we are happy with. Tools that do the job what they're designed for, okay? You can make your own, you know, your own cut-off wire like I've showed you here. You may have to work at it a bit. You might find that you're a little bit fingers and thumbs, and it's difficult to tie it all, as you know. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to make them, well, I do sell these on my website, okay? You can go there and you can buy yourself a twisted nylon cut-off wire. Whew. Thanks for watching folks. I'll see you in the next video. Keep practicing. Dee, 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 dee.